This video is dedicated to the late Akira Toriyama, a creative mind who not only possessed brilliance that influenced modern media as we know it today, but one who left an unforgettable mark in the hearts of millions. I'm not the very best at articulating my genuine thoughts on sensitive topics, so please bear with me. I want to start off by expressing how much of an interesting character Akira Toriyama was, or at least seemed to be. Like a lot of artists, he grew up with an interest of drawing various objects and people, especially his friends. And it didn't take long before he became good at it, like really good. So obviously he decided to focus on creative design when he got to high school or college. But instead of continuing to study creative design and further sharpen his prowess, he decided to jump straight into the workplace in some advertising agency where he would design posters and put his talents to use. Unfortunately, or rather fortunately in hindsight, it didn't work out, so he ended up quitting his job in his early 20s, making him somewhat broke and dependent, but that didn't stop him. Later on, he decided to submit his work to an amateur manga competition hosted by Weekly Shonen Jump, and I want to believe he would have won, but his work ultimately wasn't eligible to compete as it was a parody of Star Wars rather than something original. Regardless, a representative of Shonen Jump touched base with him to encourage him to keep drawing manga and send whatever work he had completed. That representative was Kazuhiko Torishima, who would eventually end up being his editor, as well as the person largely responsible for Toriyama's upcoming success. With Torishima's support, Toriyama created Wonderworld in 1978, a one-shot story in a manga anthology called Akira Toriyama's Manga Theater, and it flopped. Then he created Wonder Island 2, and that also flopped. This running theme of failure continued on for an entire year. Toriyama was a stubborn man, but he had a lot of heart. Eventually, Torishima told Toriyama to make something with a female protagonist, but Toriyama was like, I don't really feel like it. But he ended up doing it anyway, and that led to the creation of Tomato the QT Gumshoe in 1978. And you know what? It did pretty decently. So Toriyama was like, oh shit, this female lead thing might actually be the wave. So he did what any artist with at least one brain cell would do: create another manga series with a female lead to replicate that small taste of success he got with Tomato. And by God, was it a success. It's funny because Toriyama actually wanted to end Dr. Slump almost 6 months after its conception, despite it reaching levels of success he worked so hard to achieve. Truly an eccentric man, a somewhat adventitious genius. I won't go into the hard details of what happened next, but long story short, his publisher urged him to create another series, which led to more one-offs, some successful, some not. But then his interest in kung fu movies inspired him to create Dragonball, which blew the fuck up between 1984 and 1995, and that led to the creation of the anime adaptation, a number of animated movies, a million video games, merchandise, etc, etc. Then he later began designing for games such as Dragon Quest, Chrono Trigger. I mean, the guy even designed an entire car in 2005. Dr. Slump's success just snowballed into bigger and greater things, ultimately influencing the minds of so many creative people all around the world. And according to an interview he did in 2013, he doesn't even know why or how Dr. Slump or Dragon Ball blew up the way it did. I've been a fan of Toriyama for majority of my life. My sisters introduced me to Dragon Ball at a young age, and as we grew up, my sisters became less and less interested in the series, but I only grew more and more intrigued by it. Indeed, I am one of the few Dragon Ball fans that started with the original anime instead of Z. Yes, I know. Thank you. Yeah, it's hard. And ever since I've had Dragon Ball in my life, it's just always been a series I've been able to go to for entertainment, as well as a gateway to new discoveries and friendships. When I was younger, I always needed to have a sort of hyperfixation on something I could make a foundation for my quote-unquote personality, and Dragon Ball's always been that for me. For example, I was big on 3 main things as a kid: Sonic the Hedgehog, Final Fantasy, and Dragon Ball. Those were my big 3, and honestly, I think they're still my big 3 today. Whenever content was running dry in one series, I'd lean towards the other 2, and vice versa for the other 2 mediums. The point I'm trying to make here is Dragon Ball has been in my life for as long as I can remember. It's essentially a part of me now. So to have the man responsible for so much joy in your life pass away so suddenly like that is just... It really fucked me up seeing that death notice. It really did. Toriyama's the last person I imagined passing away. Reading that he had died felt like I lost a piece of myself in that very moment. I wish I was exaggerating. I'm not wishing or anticipating death upon anyone when I say this, but I fully expected the Japanese voice actor for Goku to pass away before Toriyama did. And I only say that because 1, she's almost 2 decades older than Toriyama, and 2, I tend to prepare myself for the death of someone important to me. It's not a healthy way of thinking, but I bear a somewhat pessimistic mindset when it comes to impending doom, so when the day arrives, I'll be emotionally prepared for it. But I wasn't prepared for Toriyama's death, not the slightest. The man was unwell and still continued to work, continued to create and design, working on Sandland and Dragon Ball Daima. I guess we can take solace in knowing he passed away doing what he loved. Toriyama was such a humble man as well. Most people in his position would have taken advantage of the fame, but he was a massive homebody that chose to stay as far away from the limelight as possible. Very rarely showed his face, had an avatar to represent himself in statements and the few interviews he did attend. All he wanted to do was make Japanese boys happy with his work, and he ended up being a source of joy for so many people around the world. I just hope he knew how loved and appreciated he was before he died, because with how reclusive he was, it's very possible he had no idea. A man like him, a man that shook the world with his creativity alone, deserves to know the magic he left behind. Rest in power, Akira Toriyama.